Hello and welcome back to Kick Pass Punch. Today, my name is still Malcolm, and we are going to be discussing the world of professional football, professional soccer, and professional wrestling.
And I'm Brian, his dad.
Somehow still.
And I have plenty of opinions about what's happening this week.
Oh dear.
So, Malcolm, where are we going to start?
Russell Wilson.
Oh.
Russell Wilson is a New York Giant.
For 1 year.
What does this mean for them? Jameis Winston and Russ are both on 1-year contracts.
No. James is on a 2-year contract.
Oh.
So
Same
this is no. It makes it even more confusing. You've signed Jameis for 2 years. You've now signed Russ for 1. Are they drafting a quarterback?
Yes. They're drafting Shitter.
I don't know.
Well, so what I've heard is this is a backup plan. I'm done with this.
What's the backup plan?
Russ and Jameis, in case of Cleveland. They don't know what Cleveland's gonna do. The Giants have 3.
Yeah.
Cleveland has 2.
Sure.
What if Cleveland just takes Shitter? Then they're stuck with Jackson Dart, which Jackson Dart's good, but
again, I know nothing of this Jackson Dart, but because you keep bringing him up, I have done some reading, and man, is this kid divisive. There are drafting reports that have this kid as like a 2nd or 3rd round prospect. There are also some that have him as a 1st round, but there are also some that have him as a 2nd or 3rd round. I don't know. If Ward and Sanders go 1 and 2, the Giants they have to take Hunter. They just do. He's the best athlete on the board. Period.
And then you've got Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter.
Yeah. And, again, not my joke, but I'll tell it again. You got Jameis Winston throwing passes. It's nice to have Hunter back there because he can be a wide receiver on the good passes and a cornerback on the bad passes. It's true, right? There's a reason that Jameis is the only person who's ever thrown 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same season, right? And if that's the guy,
because he's the only person that's ever thrown 30 interceptions and not been benched.
If that's the guy if you end up rolling with that guy, you need a wide receiver out there who might need to turn into a quarterback from time to time.
Well, they just paid their backup the Saquon deal. Whatever his name is, I don't remember. Darius Slayton.
Yeah.
They just paid him the Saquon deal.
Yes.
I mean, not just, but like a few weeks ago. But
yes. No.
Still.
Again, an inexcusable move by their front office. I had forgotten that the actual terms of the Saquon deal were discussed on Hard Knocks, and that it was public knowledge exactly what was offered to him, and then they turned around and gave a backup wide receiver the thing that Saquon Barkley asked for.
So I saw something the other day that Saquon's current deal would only be. He would be the 20th highest paid wide receiver in the league. Which is insane. With his Eagles deal, he would be the 20th paid wide receiver.
But he's not a wide receiver.
He could be.
Are you comparing his salary to wide receivers?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
athleticism.
No, for sure, the market, the current NFL market, values wide receivers over running backs. Especially after last year, I don't know why that's the case, right? Certainly, the value of running backs seemed to be in a complete resurgence last year. And I think I think Ashton Jetty, is that his name?
Genty.
Is going to benefit from that. He's going to go higher. He's going to go higher this year because of what running backs did last year, than than he would have.
That doesn't benefit him. I'm sure if he's not a top 10 pick, he wants to be a later pick so he can be on a good team.
He'll be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I know. But if he wasn't going to be a top 10, if you're not going to be a top 10 pick, but you're going to go in the first round, it's debatable that you want to either go in the first 10 or go in the last 3.
Sure. He will go in the top 10.
Yeah.
He will not fall past the Bears.
He's the new Raiders pick.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he falls past the Raiders, but he won't fall past the Bears. I mean, if you look at what Ben Johnson did with the running backs in Detroit,
yeah,
having him in the backfield is it's got to be enticing, especially with what they've done with the line already, right? And then you have those 2 early second round picks that are just sitting there, right? To take linemen if that's what you feel you need to do. Again, I don't think he gets to us. I think he goes 6 to the Raiders. I will just continue to predict the Raiders pick. But that's where I think we're at.
Okay. So, Stephon Diggs is now a Patriot. What are your thoughts on that? How's he gonna do in New England?
I don't know. So I'll be honest. I don't have a strong opinion on this pick or this signing at all. What I find curious is that the sports guy, Bill Simmons, billionaire Spotify, Grantland, The Ringer guru Bill Simmons, huge Patriots fan, posted this information and said, trying to stay positive. And I don't know why he's upset about this. I don't know what about this.
Because he's a walking controversy, pretty much. He just causes problems everywhere he goes.
Okay.
It's like most wide receivers. Causes problems everywhere he goes.
Well,
just the wide receiver philosophy.
Do the Patriots have any other knuckleheads?
Yeah.
Everybody can have one knucklehead. Every team can have one. Right?
Well, the Chiefs knuckleheads keep getting arrested, so they keep being wide receivers. So the Chiefs should just stop drafting wide receivers because we're not even gonna bring that up. Nope, bad idea. What were we talking about?
Stephon Diggs.
Oh yeah.
Is he good?
He's alright. He used to be good. He's okay.
Okay, is he wide receiver 1 walking into Patriots camp?
Yeah, because New England has nobody.
Okay.
Debatable. Unless Trav falls to them. If Trav falls to them, he'll be number 1.
Sure. Oh, you think so? Think he'd be wide receiver 1 over Diggs?
Yes. Unless he chooses to play more cornerback. If he chooses to play more cornerback, he'll be he'll be either slot or 3.
If you give Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and Hunter, that's a great position to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I can't be mad at it.
No, that's true.
I get New England taking a flyer, right, It's something they're known for doing, but they've always done in the past with Belichick, and he's not there. Bill Belichick is not walking through that door.
It's true.
So does it work without him to keep people in line? I don't know.
Who's their coach now?
But I predict that yes. I predict Stephon Diggs has a very productive, non-controversial season. That is my prediction.
I predict he walks out mid-game like he's Antonio Brown.
How many games?
Until he realizes that they're not going to make the playoffs.
So 17 games in the season.
Once they lose
over
9.
under 9. Halfway or
Once
9?
they lose 9. So after,
Once they lose 9.
Once they lose 9 and he realizes he can't make the playoffs,
he just disappears.
he leaves.
Okay. All right. And so on the outline, you have added who will be the best player in this year's NFL draft. So we're talking 5 years from now. We're looking back. And we're saying who should have been the number 1 pick in this draft. That's the question, correct?
Not really, because obviously, if you look back in 10 years, it's gonna be a quarterback that should have been number 1. Like, no question, because
you think a quarterback is going to be number 1.
I don't think a quarterback is gonna be the best player in the draft.
Okay.
But it's what Tennessee needs. So looking back on it, I don't think Tennessee doesn't really need any other positions that are extremely strong in this draft. I mean, they need kind of every position, but as much as like we may look back and be like they should have taken Travis Hunter first. I don't know.
So 5 years from now, looking back, who's going to be the best player in this draft? Sure
So,
question.
as much as I do like the Eagles, but I hate that this could happen. They just let Darius Slay go. I'm not sure if he falls to them or not, but they seem to have a way of making people fall to them. Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan, in my opinion, could be the best player in the draft this year.
All right. This is, since we started our show 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I have completely turned around.
You gonna say Shedeur?
No, Ashton Jeanty.
Oh.
It's going to be the best player in this draft. Ashton Jeanty is going to be the best player in this draft. Like 5 years from now, every team that let him go by is going to be like, why didn't we draft that guy? Why didn't we draft that guy? That's the guy we should have drafted.
Because they didn't need a running back.
You always need a running back. Always.
Well, the Giants just should never draft a running back ever again. The Giants just don't know how to deal with running backs. Or the Giants are just cursed when it comes to running backs. One or the other. I don't really know which. The Browns don't need a running back.
Everybody needs a running back.
The Browns do not need a running back. The Titans do need a running back, but they need a quarterback more. Because Will Levis is buns.
Is what?
Buns.
Buns?
Yeah.
Define?
Bad. Very bad.
Why is buns bad?
Not explaining this.
Are you saying he's ass? Is that what that means? Is that what you're going for?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just checking. I just want to make sure I understand what's happening.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
To some MLS stock. The Chicago Fire are now 3 games without a loss.
Not
they've
without a loss.
Oh, without a loss or draw.
3 wins on the road in
When
a row.
was the last time this happened?
1814. Is that all right? No, that's not right. Okay. I don't know the last time. It's beyond it's
That's so direct.
beyond the realm of human memory. Is that the right answer?
No.
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 Are there records? Was there like a form of writing that could keep track of this?
Okay, the answer is I don't think this happened before.
It probably happened in '98. I mean, they won.
Maybe.
They were the best team in the league. They won the Supporter Shield, won the league. So, I mean, the chances that they won 3 in a row on the road are, fairly decent. But
Yeah. Since then,
man, is it wild to be on this ride right now.
it's very strange.
And
Very unexpected.
not only is it 3 wins in a row, but the last win was a convincing 3-1 win over the best team in the league. I mean, we went into Vancouver, who was the only undefeated team in the league, and
Nope.
beat them 3-1.
That's not true. The only team that has not drawn or tied.
Sorry,
Drawn or
the
tied.
only
lost
team
or
that
tied.
has won every game.
Yes.
Um,
Philadelphia hadn't lost a game.
Philadelphia
still hasn't lost.
I believe it was the official MLS website put out their power rankings today, and they moved Miami from 2-1, and they were like, Miami ascends to the number 1 spot in the power rankings on a bye, because vibes. I think they didn't even play this week, and somehow they became the best team in the league, according to the MLS website.
Because
the Fire
Bias.
beat Vancouver.
bias.
In those same MLS power rankings, the Fire jumped from 19 to 9.
We were 19.
Yeah.
That's bad. We were 6th in the league.
No, we were 6th in the East.
In our league.
But
In our version
the
of
history
league.
of the Fire has to be built into that. Right?
I guess.
You have to look at the team construction, right? And it is like, well, what is this team? And I think people who really hate Greg Berhalter are going to be really mad about what's happening in Chicago right now. What else is the difference? The roster's not different. I mean, Bamba,
Zinkernagel.
But are they that
Who's
different
it?
than
Kawama?
the people that we lost?
Yeah. Bomba's better than last year Chris Mueller.
Yeah,
I can't believe Gucci's still on our team.
Yeah, I don't know that he'll stay. He won't make it through the season. He'll be in Europe by the end of the season, I think.
No, he'll be in Europe by mid-season.
Well, that's what I mean.
In the
Like,
summer.
like over the summer, he'll get bought.
Yeah.
Off
to what's it called? Bayern Munich. It's my guess.
And J.J. Watt is officially not becoming a Cincinnati Bengal. Can you explain, Malcolm, why
So
that's
we've talked
significant
about
and why we're talking about that in the MLS Why is
Well,
J.J. Watt not becoming a
It
Cincinnati
doesn't matter.
Bengal?
It doesn't matter for the MLS, but
Or sorry, why are we talking about that in the soccer section of this show?
because we've talked about this before in the 15-year history of this show. J.J. Watt made a promise to the Burnley goalkeeper that he would come out of retirement and play for the Bengals if they kept a clean sheet for the rest of the season. And they kept a clean sheet for how many games was it? 16?
I don't know,
I thought it was 16.
but it was the first week of December.
Okay.
The last time they conceded a goal.
I'm not counting. That's got to be over 14, doesn't it?
It's a crazy number of games. We'll have to look and see if they pass. Like I think
I tried to Google it the other day and it didn't tell me.
I believe Manchester United had the record with 17 straight clean sheets
Oh, I thought
in all
you said it was
competitions.
14.
I know Burnley was at 14 at the time, and Manchester United's record was 70, so they needed 3 more. And I'll be honest, I haven't looked. I'll have to look and see whether they actually managed to pull that off or not. I feel like they did not. I feel like it would have been a bigger story if they had actually passed that number. So my guess is they must have got to 15 or 16 and then given up a goal. But still, amazing run for Burnley. Amazing.
They're still gonna get promoted. I saw something that they're the defensive champions of England all time. At this point in the season, they are the team that in England has let in the least amount of goals ever. At 9, they've let in 9 goals since last August.
That's nuts.
August of 2024 to currently, or 10 now, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Is it their defense or is it their keeper? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to Burnley.
All right. Side topic, not on the list. Club Lyon has been expelled from the Club World Cup.
Oh.
Because they're owned by the same organization as another team, and FIFA has a rule that you cannot have 2 teams owned by the same conglomerate in the same competition.
That's dumb.
So even though they qualified for it, they're the lower ranked team, so they're out. So now they just have to figure out who to put into this spot that they were supposed to take in the Club World Cup.
I saw talks of
Wrexham is in the mix.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Do they get it?
No.
And should they get it?
No. No and no.
Why? First, why shouldn't they get it?
Because they don't belong there. They're just gonna lose.
Okay.
They're just gonna lose every game. Weirdly enough, no, I guess not weirdly enough. Traditionally, Brazilian or Argentinian teams have come either very close to winning this or won it. So I think you give it to another Argentinian team or Brazilian team. Do I think that's gonna happen? No. I think they're gonna give it to Al Nassr, but
okay. I think it's one of those two. I think it's Wrexham or Al Nassr. I do. I think it's one of the other.
Well, it's a media show. This is not a real competition. This is a media show.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely, and that's the reason to give it. I mean, it's the reason to give it to either of them. But here, I'll make my argument for Wrexham. Wrexham is a ratings juggernaut right now. They are driving. People are watching League One to watch Wrexham, right?
Because they're winning, and they're winning.
They're winning and they're winning.
In League One.
But now you put them in this competition, they get so much money. If they get promoted to the championship next year, They get the money for getting promoted to the championship, plus they get the money for being in this league. They can literally build a Premier League team in the championship based on this money that they're getting from being in the Club World Championship. It is an extraordinary amount of money that they get for being in this competition. It is.
Yeah,
it
and
is
they
on
probably don't
par.
want to give it to the
It is on par. Well, but the people who are making these decisions are talking about money and ratings, right? And it's going to drive people to watch the championship, right? Which means you're going to have to subscribe to a service that lets you watch this. There's money in giving it to them. Al Nassr, they're already available. You can already watch all their games, right?
They don't need more money.
And they don't need more money. The money doesn't matter to them because those teams are dealing with an infinite amount of money, right? Let's be honest. The Saudi
it's my
money
mom's
is
credit card. The money isn't real.
the money is dumb. So I'm curious to see what happens. We got to wrap this up soon. Let's quickly move over to some Graps. What is your top story in Graps for this week?
Stephanie Vakir is still double NXT Women's North American Champion.
They made a point of pointing out last night that she is, in fact, the first person in the known history of professional wrestling to defend two separate titles on the same night and win both. Never happened before.
Did they really say that?
Yes.
That's never happened.
Never happened before. That's what they said. I'm taking Corey Graves at his word.
No, I wouldn't do that.
That because no one in pro wrestling has ever lied to me.
Never. That's never happened.
But
so it is our fault.
I've thought about it, and I can't come up with the time. There are certainly people who have had two belts. I think there are times when they've tried to defend two belts and lost one, which is what everyone assumed was going to happen last night. Everyone assumed she was going to win the world title match at the beginning and then lose the North American title match at the end. Would have made perfect sense. It would be great storytelling. I love that they had her win both. I love it. I would actually continue it out now. And depending on the extent of the injury, if Julia can be back by Stand and Deliver, have her win both at Stand and Deliver too, and then have Julia come out and challenge for her belt back.
Oh, like right on the spot?
Not on the spot, but just like at the end, like have Stephanie and Jada Parker main event, and Stephanie win after already beating whoever is going for the North American title earlier, and then as she stands there with both belts in this big, the WrestleMania weekend moment, and then Julia's music hits and she comes back. I don't know if that's happening. I don't know what her injury is. I don't know what's going on with her, but I think that would be amazing.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that I hope that Stephanie loses at Stand and Deliver, because then, but not to Julia. Do not have Julia come back. Not at all. Just don't have her even show up at Stand and Deliver. And then on the Raw after Mania, have both of them show up
On Raw.
on Raw.
As a tag team?
I don't know. They could do that. It might work as a tag team, but you could then get Bianca and Jade versus.
What if they did the thing where Charlotte wins? Charlotte beats Tiffy. Then she's so cocky, she comes out and she does the open challenge. They rerun the AJ Page thing, right? And Charlotte stands there and she makes an open challenge, and Julia walks out.
Okay.
and beats her, and becomes WWE champion on the first night in
Um,
the main roster.
not at all having anything to do with Stephanie or Julia or any of them. What is happening with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton? I'm so convinced that Tiffany's gonna win, but I haven't been shown anything that it all proves that Tiffany's gonna win. It's just been Charlotte beating her up.
That's why she's gonna win.
Well, at least Jay's been putting up a fight. Jay started out really bad, but recently he's been putting up a fight. They're not even putting these two on the show.
Jay's not putting up a fight.
Yes, he is. He just held his own with Jimmy on Monday. Last week he kind of held his own. He broke out of the sleeper. Jay's fighting back.
Jay is intentionally messing up moves on the show
Oh, yes.
to build the narrative that he's slipping. Like, that's the story they're telling. We're gonna get it next week. So I know this predates, and you know the story, but it predates you watching. But it goes back. That I think this is my prediction. Which we're gonna see next week. Because Jimmy slept the hell out of Gunther.
Oh my god. Jimmy's so screwed.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's gonna go. We're gonna revisit Roman and Jay
Roman, Jay
in the cell
yeah.
in the I Quit match, right? Which ignites Jay. That's the thing that ignites Jay. That match does. And what Gunther's going to do to Jimmy is going to reignite Jay going into these last 3 weeks in the build, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're on pace there. I think it's a good story. The other title, John Cena. I love what he's doing. It's a little redundant, but man, him calling out the same kid for the second week in a row was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. How is he going to ruin wrestling?
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
I literally hope it's things like they do a contract signing and he just walks out, he signs the contract and just walks away. Like,
yeah,
so,
they don't have to do it.
Like there's no physicality, there's no confrontation. Like everything you think you're going to get from pro wrestling in these moments, you just don't get it.
And John Cena just wins every match in a different way. So whenever you think you have it figured out what he's gonna do, don't. Like he wins by cheating, then he wins by some other person helping him, then he wins clean, then he wins.
I did think this. This is my wildest theory that currently exists.
Oh great.
If you want to make him even a bigger heel than he is now, he goes into WrestleMania. He loses.
No.
He comes out on Monday night. He's getting booed. Everyone's laughing, jeering, booing.
Yeah, everybody's just like laughing at him.
Right. He tries to do some sort of contriteness thing, right? Where he's like, tries to make good, but they keep booing it. It just makes him mad even more. And he goes, I told you I was going to be a 17-time world champion. And I am. Because I know that if you say his name, he appears. Joe Hendry. And then he just completely squashes Joe Hendry. Oh my god, people would boo so much. The people would be so mad.
No, but I believe in him.
Right, you believe in Joe Hendry. And John Cena just puts him down in like 30 seconds.
Oh my God, we're not doing Brock Kofi.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. Now he can claim to be a 17-time world champion, but they're like, well, yeah, but really, is it really a world championship?
You could do the same thing for Ric Flair.
Well, they only count his WWE, WWF, WCW, NWA. They only count those.
That's like 4 different companies.
But no, there's only 2 companies.
Yes! And TNA's only a second company for John.
Yeah, but TNA is not at the same level as those other companies.
They're basically combined. The champ was in the Rumble. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying, I think it would be hilarious.
No, it'd be awesome.
Um,
But then Joe Hendry wins it back on the next episode of TNA, and then all the WWE fans that don't watch TNA are like, "Why? Where's the title gone?" And
All right.
Joe Hendry has it back.
So let's finish this up.
Okay.
We have next week. We have Rhea versus Io with Bianca as ref. Bianca doesn't want to be ref. She doesn't know how to be ref. Isn't interested in doing this. My question is, why are we doing any of this? We all know we're ending up in a triple threat.
Yeah, but what if we just don't? We all thought that Cody was winning at WrestleMania 39. It was like the most guaranteed thing in wrestling. And then he didn't. What if, like, everybody thinks this? You could ask almost any person, and they'd be like, yeah, I think that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What if he just doesn't? What if they just straight up do Io versus Bianca?
So you're going to have Io beat Rhea again?
Yes.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Because if Rhea... Yes, wait, yeah. Because if Rhea wins, then we get to a triple threat. Because, it's 1-1. Now Io wants her rematch.
No, nobody wins this match. Nobody wins this match.
Oh, no one wins this match. Bianca wins this match?
No, Bianca walks out.
Oh.
Bianca walks out. At some point, like, they both piss her off.
And that means they both win.
And then
They're both champ.
she walks out.
They both lose.
And she just, like, she calls for the bell. She gets out of the ring. She calls for the bell. And she says, the ref deems this is no contest. Just kills the match. Like, it's over.
She says, nah. We're done.
We're done. We're not doing
done
this. But, I mean, it's going to end up in the triple threat. I think I would just rather see them, instead of spending all this time trying to get there, I'd rather see them just, beating each other up.
That's kind of what they've been doing now.
But they haven't.
But they kind of have.
No.
Yeah. Rio literally put them both on top of a table last week. And then this week, Io beat up both of them. Kind of.
Yeah.
And then Bianca.
But they also
beat them
pie-faced
both up.
Io again this week.
Yeah, they keep pie-facing Io.
Right?
They should really stop pie-facing Io. I hope Io walks out of WrestleMania with that title.
Bianca walks out with that title 100%.
But then Io...
If I had to bet you on one match...
But then Io's whole gimmick just becomes pie-face.
I would bet you... a dinner of your choice. Bianca wins this match.
My choice. Okay, one final thing, just talking about on the topic of special guest referee matches. We have not seen The Rock. The Rock is just gone. He's just not showing up. Why? I don't know.
No one knows. And no one knows why they're not even mentioning why somehow Cody and Cena don't even bother to mention that
Cody and Cena just do
that
not.
Cena sold his soul to The Rock. And that has somehow not been a talking point for the last 2 weeks. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. But then we get to WrestleMania, and there's been no mention of The Rock at all.
Mm-hmm.
We get to WrestleMania, and the announcer's talking about Cody Rhodes, John Cena. This match is scheduled for one fall. This match is scheduled for one fall, and then he grabs his ear for a second. He's like, Oh wait, by courtesy of the Final Boss, this is now a special guest referee match, and your referee is the Final Boss.
I
Stone
could,
Cold Steve.
I can actually see that.
Yeah.
I can actually see them putting The Rock as the referee of this match.
Because then The Rock knows if somebody comes out and helps Cody, The Rock knows he can't disqualify Cody because then Cena doesn't get the belt. Cena wins but doesn't get the belt. And he can't count out Cody because then Cena doesn't get the belt.
Right.
And if he counts out Cena or disqualifies Cena, Cena doesn't get the belt. So they have to, that just makes it a no disqualifications match. So everything is allowed. And it's basically last year's WrestleMania match, but not as good because I don't think they can top it. I'd be happy to be proved wrong though. Maybe they can. Maybe they can top it. I don't know how. You reassemble.
Well, part of it is Cena continuing to ruin wrestling, right? Just don't do the thing you want him to do.
Just never do this. Just never do the 5 moves of doom.
No,
Just never.
no,
Never.
100%. No, you put Cody down, right? And you're in position for the 5 knuckle shuffle, right? But instead of doing the 5 knuckle shuffle, you stand over him, and right as you think he's gonna do this, he goes boom, and he does like the Muda lightning elbow. Like he just does like the opposite instead of this drawn out thing. Like he does these super hard, impactful moves, right?
No, he does the people's elbow.
No, not the people's elbow. Like he does like the super hard fast strike. Like no drawn out, no crowd
Nothing.
pleasing. Like just drop that out. Just drop the elbow with no fanfare whatsoever. Like I literally hope they spend the next 3 weeks, whatever it is, until WrestleMania, thinking of every moment. Like in wrestling history, what is the thing that would happen in this moment, and then have him do the opposite?
Okay, probably not something that's not gonna happen, but would be funny is The Rock comes out. So they introduce Cody, then they say that The Rock is now the special guest referee, and then we hit Cena's music, and no one comes out. Nobody. There's Make-A-Wish kids on the stage.
You can't involve the Make-A-Wish kids with bad guy Cena.
But nobody's on the stage and Cena doesn't come out. And then this Tron cuts to Cena in the back, getting in his car and leaving. And The Rock gets on the mic and says, "Now, if I count out or disqualify Cody Rhodes, the title can change hands." And now Cody's stuck in the ring. He can't do anything. Because, I mean, I guess he could start beating up The Rock, but he can't get out of the ring, because then The Rock's going to count him out. So he can't go chase Cena. He can't do anything. He can't leave the ring. Him and The Rock can just have a match, I guess, technically. But then The Rock could also just get up and disqualify him. I don't see a way that Cody walks out with the title. Not gonna happen.
No.
You can't have him be a babyface for 22 years, and then when he finally turns heel, him just lose again.
No, they brought up the spinner belt. Like, he's definitely winning. He's definitely bringing back the spinner belt.
But then, no.
Happening.
But then it leads to a whole nother story, because then in the middle of April. So on the roster WrestleMania, Cody gets beaten the crap out of by The Rock and Cena. Then in the middle of April, Cody comes out and he's like, "I haven't won a one-on-one match since WrestleMania." It's like, oh really? But still, he thinks it makes sense in kayfabe or whatever. And he says, "I might be willing to do anything." And nothing happens. He doesn't say anything. He fights on the good guy side all the way until December, when they get to a John Cena farewell pay-per-view. and they let Cena pick his opponent, and he picks Cody. And he just wants it to be a one-on-one match. He doesn't want The Rock's help. He doesn't want anybody's help. When the Rock inevitably creates a whole faction, he doesn't want any of their help. He just wants to do it by himself. And they're both down like 10, 15 minutes into this match, and out comes The Rock. And then they both get up, and Cody's in this corner. Cena's in the middle, and The Rock's in this corner. And The Rock goes, no, he doesn't even hold a whole one. He just, and Cena turns around, and Cody kicks him in the balls. And now he's done. Cody is now a heel and does exactly what Cena did.
All right. Well,
exactly every single thing.
We will see.
No.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
No, we cannot see him. Adios. Kevin is always right. Don't forget. Goodbye.